we need something new. All right, how about her fucking lightsaber as a whip?
God.
Like the Ferengi in that Next Gen episode that was stupid and they didn't do anymore because it looked stupid? Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like that.
Let's do
like
that. Yeah, you're right. It still looks stupid. Yo, mama's so ugly. She has to pay OnlyFans $15 a month to post her pictures.
All right. Welcome to the Two Gaming Dudes.
The Acolyte, episode 6.
There's been 6 of these now.
Click subscribe, please. You finally watched it?
I have not watched this episode.
Fuck it. I quit.
You know what I ended up doing is I ended up watching like 7 different YouTubers talk about it. So I get what happened.
I knew one of us was going to quit.
But I can't. I'm so bored with it.
I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid it would affect. I thought you were going to quit at episode 4. I was waiting. I could feel it. I could tell, ooh, he's not going to go through with this.
No, and that was it for me. So I haven't seen this episode, but I can probably tell you exactly what happens in this episode, or what doesn't happen in this episode.
All right, well, here we go. So they start off, they're going full force with the Parent Trap, which my 12-year-old girl predicted from the first episode.
That they're going to do the
She
Parent
just
Trap.
looks like, they're going to do the Parent Trap set to Star Wars? And she walked out.
Yeah.
She quit after the first episode. Okay.
All right.
So she wakes
Well,
up.
This is why they have to have the same haircut, because if you don't have the same haircut,
They won't play.
then you can't do the Parent Trap.
Right, you need Lilo and another Lilo, or it doesn't work. Yes,
Right.
I get it. So they wake up on an unknown planet, which is actually just Ela Nublar from Jurassic Park. And she's following the guy that's the CW Sith Lord.
Right.
She's following him. Yes. And then back on the ship, Squid Game's guy runs over and he calls the Jedi Council. And the communications don't really work that great. But he says, it's an emergency, code 0. Sounds important.
Sure.
He says, there's been an incident. And the guy's like, oh, really? What happened? Not, holy shit, there's a fucking Sith, send reinforcements!
There's been an incident. An incident?
The Sith haven't been seen for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay, your mortal enemy from history, you should know what that is. I showed Charles this photo. And
Yeah.
He looked at it and immediately said, a Roman centurion or a gladiator? Yeah. That's 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And Charles is not a professional soldier.
No. Nor am I a historian in any capacity.
He's a dunce. And he immediately picked up Gladiator from a photo.
Like that.
This guy fought a Sith, is a trained Jedi, knows the history. Okay, whatever.
Whoever that guy is, I don't know. I fought him. He killed a bunch of us.
No mention of the Sith. Okay, so but the transgender little hedgehog, he like, and he sniffs. That's not really her.
I kept seeing shots of that thing walk around, and every time I saw it, my immediate thought was, "Is that Alf?"
No, it's Warwick Davis.
It's Alf.
Hey, Willie. Yeah. Hey, Willie. So CW Sith guy is gonna go take a bath. I guess because he stinks. And she goes up there and she steals his lightsaber and he starts grooming her. He's like, hey, the dark side is better.
Oh, and she's just like, yeah, all right.
And then he walks away. And then he leaves. He just leaves. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Okay, he leaves. So back on the ship, there's a power failure.
Oh, okay.
And the little bunny guy, he's going to go, you've got this assassin that killed 2 Jedi Masters.
Yeah, we've seen her fight. We know that she is a trained assassin, expert in hand-to-hand combat.
I'm a hedgehog. I'm going to go fight her.
So Alf fights the assassin. I'm assuming that Alf dies horribly.
No.
But then I remember what this show is, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. He's fine.
They do a Three Stooges routine instead. We can talk about that more. I'm not opposed to...
I saw the scene.
Okay, I'm not opposed to slapstick and silliness in Star Wars. There's always been elements of goofy...
Yeah, but it's gotta make sense, and this makes no sense.
Yeah. So they go back to the plan.
It'd be like you're halfway through Empire Strikes Back,
and then a Bollywood number starts up.
Well, then all of a sudden Darth Vader like trips over someone's dog.
Right.
And then as he trips, like his lightsaber goes flying and then ends up going through several floors, and he's going, uh-oh, I hope nobody notices that was me.
And at the bottom, it's like it's cut a hole like in Aliens.
Yeah.
And the Emperor's looking up, Vader! Sorry, boss.
It'd be like if you just had that moment. Okay, then
and then the movie continues.
Right. And then continue with the rest of it. Yeah.
So back on Ela Nublar, no, the dark side is totally better. And she gets the better of him. She's got the lightsaber, and she's got the lightsaber to his throat, and she's going to kill him. Wow, what an opportunity, because just a few episodes back, she explained her sole purpose of coming on this mission was to kill this guy. Fuck it!
I changed my mind. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do other stuff.
And then the guy directly steals a line from Charles Palahniuk in Fight Club. Directly. I don't know if you caught or that you'd recognize it. Only when you've lost everything are you free to do anything.
It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything.
I'm like, motherfucker.
Wow.
Did you think nobody was going to catch Fight Club, one of the most popular bro movies that's ever been? We're not going to notice? This fucking audience? Holy shit.
That is bold.
So back on the ship. They're having a it's one paragraph. Bullshit.
Yeah, sure.
They're having a conversation on the ship. You can't tell who's sincere. Does he really know it's her or doesn't he? You can't tell. Not intentionally ambiguous. It's just so poorly written and so poorly acted. You can't tell.
You can't tell.
And then he stuns her, so you get, oh, okay, he does it. He gets this order, leave your comms on. He's like, nah, fuck it, because that's what elite trained soldiers do, is ignore direct orders. Fuck you. And he shuts the comms off.
Sure, why not?
And then he drives away. And immediately they show up. Within like they pass each other on the driveway, like, and then bald green bitch, Mrs. Leslie Headland, they go down to the surface and everybody's dead. And they're all cut to pieces with lightsabers. And she goes, something is amiss. And then they leave. They leave.
Do you remember that scene in Aliens when there was a thing on his face like this? And he goes, something is near. I have this feeling something is close by, but I'm not sure where.
And then it ends with CW guys like, you should put on a magic helmet. It's made of this magic metal that you didn't know about. Right? I had heard this bullshit that was mentioned in a comic once.
Yeah, that he's got a magic cortisol.
Cortisone,
whatever
helmet that dissipates lightsaber energy.
Oh, cool.
And then he says you should put the helmet on because it's also a sensory deprivation helmet. So you can just be one and really meditate well. And I thought to myself, okay, so you put on this helmet that's meant for combat, and it's sensory depriving. So you're in combat. And you can't see.
You can't hear.
You can't communicate because if sound's not getting in, it's not getting out. This is a great tool of war. What the fuck? And she puts it on, and it looks kind of like when Anakin's mask comes on and he becomes Vader, and then roll credits.
So does that mean she became evil all of a sudden for reasons? She was like, I'm good, and I like to fix ships. Now I'm evil. Why? Okay. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
What about the evil girl? Is she still evil? Nah, now I'm good. Are you good? Nah, I'm evil now, but I'm good.
If you've been watching this show for any length of time, and I know you haven't been.
And I haven't been.
You haven't been.
I doubt most of you have.
Oh, no, I meant us. But, if you've been watching the two gaming dudes for any length of time, and I know you haven't been.
Oh, okay.
I've been trying desperately to come up with some kind of insight. Like, what the fuck are they thinking? Right. Why is Headland doing this?
Sure.
And a big part of it is just they're inexperienced, they're not talented, they don't have the chops to write it. They're not good at this. That's a big part of it.
And I think that's very fair.
Another big part of it, and sometimes I come up with an insight like, oh, that's why Carrie-Anne Moss is in this and they're doing wire work. Because Leslie Headland's only exposure to sci-fi was The Matrix. Because she got hired to do this and said, I've never done sci-fi. What's like a really big sci-fi thing? Well, Matrix was revolutionary when it came out. Oh, let me watch that. Okay, great. Give me that girl and these stunt coordinators. What was one of our big complaints about Rey or Captain Marvel?
Well, my big complaint about it was that there were never any consequences for her actions. She could just do whatever she wanted to do, and things would just play out. Like, I hated that. I hate that. I hate that very much.
I think Leslie Headland went specifically out, not just her, everybody at Lucas.
Okay.
Went out of their way because there was so much backlash to Rey. They went out of their way to show, oh, no. She's not just some insane, emotional, histrionic woman. She's cold and calculated and precise, like a man, like a traditional action man. And that's why Ahsoka has the fucking personality of Popsicle Stick.
That's why she stands around like this, with her arms crossed all the time, and she's just brooding all the time.
And this girl has the personality of a Popsicle Stick. And the young Padawan kid has the personality of Popsicle Stick. Because she's going to go out of her way to show that women are not emotional, histrionic creatures. She thinks she's a fucking crusader. As evidenced by we're going to make this the gayest Star Wars. It turned out to be the shittiest fucking Star Wars.
Right?
Intentionally or not. She thinks she's a crusader. It's not enough to just fucking be a storyteller. She's gonna champion the cause. That's not what fucking Star Wars is for.
My problem is...
Just one?
One of many is she's stepping in saying, well, it's been 40 years. So I'm going to fix Star Wars. After 40 years, all of these fans that have stuck with it for 40 years, who have loved it for what it is, we're wrong. They're wrong. This is not how Star Wars is supposed to be. So I'm going to change it and fix it with my worldviews to make it more mine. And that's proper Star Wars. This is what Star Wars needs to be. And all those people that followed along for 40 years are like, I hate this. This is awful.
Right.
I'm out. Well, you're all toxic and I hate you. We're the toxic ones? Really?
And it wouldn't have blown up so bad in their face if it was good enough to generate new fans. It's not. The only example I can think of, I would have said Star Trek, but they didn't. They did the same thing here. They just shit on it, made it different, and alienated old school fans by making it stupid.
Right.
Mission Impossible was the closest I could come up with. It was a TV series,
right?
Old, back in the 60s, Mission Impossible. And then it went away for like 30 years.
Right.
And then they relaunched it as an action-adventure, the Bourne Identity type thing. A really high action is completely different.
Right.
The old fans either are so old now they don't give a fuck, but it was good and it generated a whole new audience.
That's true.
They didn't do that with this. They didn't let it go away, sit on it for 30 years. Let's bring it back for a new audience, and we'll generate new fans. They want everybody, and they're pleasing no one.
Yeah, we're doing all of these things so that you can remember what it was like from the old movies, but also all this new stuff. And when you blend it all together, you just end up with diarrhea.
Right. You failed at this, and you failed at that.
Oh, there's so much I hated about this whole series. This episode in particular had some moments that I didn't watch, thank God, but I heard all about. And you gotta let me know if this is actually what happened. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Soul takes the evil sister on board, right?
Yes.
And
Parent Trap.
Yeah. So Parent Trappy. Now he has the ability, like, to use the Force to sense emotion and all that, but none of that ever happens.
No.
Okay. However, the bad guy totally senses when the good girl's when she's like,
yes, from the first time they met in the store.
Yeah, he was just like, I think she's right there. Oh yeah, she is. I totally know who you are because I use the Force and stuff.
It was a scene. They made a point of it. You look just like her.
Yeah.
Except you don't have the face tattoo that nobody mentions ever.
Yeah, nobody mentions. Nobody looks at. Apparently, Soul didn't see it. He was like,
he should be like, bitch, what the fuck? Nah, who cares?
Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
All
right. I understand. Also, there's a scene where a little robot jizzes on her face. Does that happen?
Part of the Three Stooges.
That's part of the Three. Okay, so that happened.
Part of the Three Stooges.
And she makes a face like, eh.
There's like a little,
and it makes some kind of little screamy sound.
There's a hose that squirts oil, and he squirts her in the face with oil. She goes, eh!
That's the.
And then the little hedgehog guy runs away to tell Saul, she's bad. I guess. I don't know.
It is so awful.
You can't make heads or tails out of any of this shit. The green bald bitch. Something is amiss. She pieces together somehow that Saul must have done this, or...
Okay. So there's all of that. And everybody watching...
Oh my God, there was another... I can't...
Okay, go ahead with what you got. And then I've got something I got to say, because I know what's going to happen here with certain individuals.
So Mrs. Headland, the green bald-headed bitch, the shittiest actress in Hollywood, is going to send a rescue squad. They got to go investigate, gather a team. We got to go see what's going on, and I will lead the team. And they send in just the most wimpy incel loser.
I saw a picture of him.
I don't know who this fucking actor is. But...
Somebody posted. It's like on that kind of official Star Wars channel. They posted, "Look at the Jedi that we have now." And my immediate post underneath it is, "Do you even lift, bro?"
It was awful. But he approaches her and goes, "Master Headland,
whatever. Yeah.
Are you going on this mission?" Yes, I am. But what about your space sickness? Just, I don't get sick. I just find it uncomfortable.
That was a line that got spoken, huh?
Either you're going to build this character to be this statuesque force of gravitas that is this sophisticated leader of elite troops, or she's a fucking slapstick joke. You can't make jokes about her getting seasick and still have her be this force for gravitas. It's like one or the other.
Just like you can't have this awesome assassin that straight up murders Jedi, but then the little hedgehog comes up and steps on her foot and she goes, ah, and then the little robot squirts her in the face and she goes, eee. I'm like,
you're Obi-Wan or you're 3PO.
Right.
You can't be both. You cannot be the moral foundation and the slapstick comic relief. It will not work. You will destroy any credibility of that character. They never built it because she's awful, and they just never built it. But if they had, that would have ruined it.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
just honestly what little there is there.
Stupid, silly,
destroyed in a moment.
Amateur mistakes that any proper script doctor would have caught immediately and said, "Boss, cut that line out. It makes her look stupid."
All right. So here's the line that people have delivered to me, and I know will come out of this whole episode. For anybody that's watched up till now, their comment below is going to be, "You're looking too deep into this. This is something that's made for 10-year-olds. It's made for small children." Okay, what was up with the naked dude? Why did he have to get completely naked? And then he comes out of the water, still naked, has a whole conversation with the girl, butt-ass naked.
Including, "If you're not going to join me in here, I'm just going to get dressed."
Yeah.
He says, "So we're going to fuck or what?" "No, then give me my trousers."
All right, I'll take my pants out. I guess I might as well just get out of here then.
Made for children, is it? Is it? Or is it the fucking CW, as you've been complaining about this whole time?
It's the CW, right. It's the fucking and then CW. Sometimes it's Disney XD. The point is, it's not made for anyone. There is no group that you can point at and say, "Oh, well, it's made for this group." It's not. It's not made for any group in particular. It's made for, like, one or two people.
I mean, I guess I can understand the difficulty at the early stages at the earliest creative stages, who is our target audience?
Sure.
If it's like Tales of the Young Jedi or something stupid, it's obvious. It's for preschool kids. But no, it is. Sure. It's intentionally made.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Or not Rebels. What's the other one? Resistance. It's made for
kids.
Younger kids.
That's made for younger kids.
That's an easy one.
Right.
This, you can't make it just for kids. It's too expensive. You need a broad audience. Okay, traditional fans or new fans? Well, see if you can do both.
But you can't.
I think if you stuck to the fundamentals and appeased the traditional fans, you would generate new, younger audiences.
I also think
because it's still awesome.
And I also think that if you really, really wanted to push to just be for new audiences, you don't give a crap about old audience, let them die. I just want the new audience. I don't think there's enough of them to actually support a franchise this big.
Yeah, there's too much distraction now.
Way too much distraction and diversity. There's too much other stuff out there. This is just one more thing on the pile.
I mean, it just blows because this is the same thing that took me out of Marvel. I'm done with Marvel. I haven't watched any of the shows. Secret Invasion or what's the other? No, I'm done.
It doesn't matter.
The Hawk Girl or the... I'm done. I don't care. I'm not going to watch their fucking movie. Iron Man was my shit. I remember growing up, you were Spider-Man, Batman, I think?
Mostly Spider-Man. Mostly Spider-Man. I'm still a fan of Spider-Man.
I was Spider-Man, Iron Man.
Okay.
Up until 1989, Tim Burton's Batman, and then it was all Batman after that. But up until then, Iron Man was my boy. I was really happy that we're getting, a professional, well-made Iron Man stuff. Awesome.
And we got it, and it was awesome.
I'm out. I'm done. It sucks. My time is too valuable. You're going to do that to me with Star Wars?
At least
you lost one. You lost this one. We grew up since we were children. Our lives revolved around Star Wars. If you've lost this one.
As a child in the theater, singing It's praises,
Right.
literally singing the whole drive home. Star Wars was my life for such a long time.
Well, this is bullshit.
And
So
this
now,
is just...
so I gotta watch the last 2 episodes and you don't have to? It's bullshit.
I'll try. I'll try to watch some. I mean, I'm skipping an episode. I'll watch the next one. I don't feel like I've missed anything.
You didn't
So
miss shit.
yeah. So I mean, I'll jump back into it, I guess. But it's so awful. If I never watched another episode, I would not care.
For 6 episodes, you've taken us right up to the edge of Saul saying, I have to come up with the truth. Okay, what? Next episode. I have to tell everyone the truth. Okay, tell us. Next episode. It's time that I tell everything.
I don't even fucking care anymore.
Stop dangling the fucking carrot in front of my face. Either drop the plot point or fuck off.
Yeah.
You can't stretch it out that long. A proper filmmaker could. You personally cannot.
No, this is far beyond your abilities.
This writing staff doesn't have the talent for it.
And you know when he finally does tell it. When he finally is like, okay, here's the story of what really happened.
Right.
And they play it. It's going to be lame.
We could have stopped the fire, but we didn't.
Yeah.
I pulled the fire alarm and it turns out it was a fuel dump lever.
Oops, my bad.
It's stupid.
It's going to be something really dumb. It's going to make no real difference at all.
It's a sensory deprivation helmet. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking?
So when they were talking to you and you were answering, were they talking to you through the Force? And that's how you were, because you were straight up answering people when they talked to you. I'm pretty sure hearing is a sensor, right? That's one of your sensory...
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I was just checking.
Had they said it blocks out the Force?
Well, they didn't have to say it, but he was like, hey, you can't read my mind because this
my magic helmet,
my magic helmet blocks the Force. But it also helps me use the Force because more Force comes in and then I can force stuff.
This whole thing is forced.
What?
We need something new. All right, how about her fucking lightsaber as a whip? Like the Ferengi in that Next Gen episode that was stupid and they didn't do anymore because it looked stupid? Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like that.
Let's do that. Yeah, you're right. It still looks stupid.
It's so stupid. I hate that. I hate the stupid lightsaber whip. What a dumb idea.
I mean, is that really practical when you've got friendlies around you and collateral damage around?
There would be so much collateral damage because the thing still is a lightsaber, right? It cuts through everything.
I mean, are you blocking fucking laser bolts blasts with it? Because it's flopping around like a flap.
I mean, you have to wind it to throw it,
right?
Which means it's going to go in a big circle around you. Yeah.
Good thing you're wearing Cortana armor.
Also, when you snap it, it comes right back at you.
Yes. Well, I'm reminded.
I know for a fact that whip will come right back at you real quick.
I'm reminded of Harrison Ford snapping the bullwhip and cutting his chin.
Yeah.
Imagine that's a lightsaber cutting the fucking lower half of your jaw off now. Smart design. This is just so stupid from top to bottom. It stinks to high heaven of shit. And they should be fucking ashamed. Fucking ashamed that they made it. Doubly ashamed that they released it to us.
Because we are embarrassed to watch this.
I never thought something could be so shitty.
Well, 2 more episodes left of this.
Oh, God, just be done already.
2 more episodes of this stuff. Oh, my God.
Just release them both together. 7 and 8. Let me just get it out of the way Tuesday and get on with my life.
Just throw it out there and let us be done with it because I hate every minute of this. I really do.
I don't disagree.
Would love to know your thoughts on this series. So, drop it down in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Where are you at with the Acolyte? Where do you stand? I've been to Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen the polar opposites. Lately, there's been a lot of 5-star reviews of people like, you just have to love it for what it is.
Well, and what's that exactly?
Pile of crap.
Because somebody on one of our videos, I don't remember which episode, somebody had commented, and I usually do my best to go through and answer all the comments.
Sure.
If I can. Somebody had said, oh my God, this is the best episode. The lightsaber duels were awesome. And somebody else replied, you have to tell yourself you're an adult now, not a child. Yeah. That's not going to do it for me anymore. You better do something better than fancy stunts.
Yeah.
I'm not a child anymore. That's not going to hold my attention.
No. And quite honestly, when I was a child, that wasn't enough to hold my attention.
Right, because you're not a fucking imbecile. They're treating us like fucking imbeciles that need to be told that it's okay to be a black lesbian. I fucking know. You don't have to teach me that. We're already on your side on that shit. What does that have to do with fucking Star Wars?
Nothing. I will save it for next episode. Remind me about Frozen.
I'm not going to remember, but okay.
You're probably not. All right, somebody in the comments remind me. Right? I want to talk about that because Leslie Hesland, in an interview, talked about how she watched Frozen, fell in love with Frozen, and said, I want to tell a story like that. And then said, hey, I could use Star Wars. It wasn't, I have a great idea for Star Wars and would love to tell a Star Wars story. It all started with Frozen and how she really wanted to tell this coming out story and this, story that didn't involve a heterosexual romance, and it was just spoke to her and how wonderful that was. I want to tell a story like Frozen.
Okay.
Hey, Disney owns Star Wars and they're desperate for anything. I'll tell my story through that.
Have you, even with all that nonsense and bullshit as it is, if you took that pile of shit and handed it to Robert Zemeckis, you think he could cobble together something really fucking awesome? Or would it be this diarrhea?
I think he could do
Or if
something
he gave
awesome.
it to Spielberg, would it be diarrhea or would it come out as something awesome?
I think it would have come out something awesome because he would have been smart enough to say, all right, so that's a moral, it's not the theme. You can't have that as the centralized theme of your story.
He's not Robert Zemeckis. He fucking gets it. He didn't even go to film school. Or any school.
I took classes. I took film classes.
What,
they
school
were online.
with your 1.8 GPA.
All right, we're out of here. We'll see you in another episode.
Fuck this show.
Later.